I'm Ryan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Razz My Berry Review. Shazam! 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 I give up. Crystal, what did you think?
I thought it was really good.
You thought it was really good?
I honestly enjoyed it. I'm not, I know little information on Shazam, aka Captain Marvel.
Yes.
But I thought it was pretty good. I thought they did a really good job with it. From my point of view. What do you think?
Well, this is actually one of those characters that I'm actually not very well informed of. Like, I don't know a whole lot about Shazam / Captain Marvel. I only know about some of his comic book history as far as when he first came about. He was called Captain Marvel, and then the whole legal thing, and we're not going to get into that. But I know who Billy Batson was. I know he was a foster kid. I know that he had a family, and that eventually they would have the Marvel family with Captain Marvel, Captain Marvel Jr., I believe, and an actual Miss Marvel, I believe. But like the whole family of Marvels, kind of thing. As far as the film, I enjoyed it. I went in with pretty much no expectations other than I thought I was going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
We didn't watch a lot of the trailers, which helped. I feel there was some really awesome stuff that they did, some interesting choices, I thought. So let's get down right to it with some of the technical stuff. The one kind of like a negative as well. I'm going to start off by saying the beginning felt a little slow for me. The opening scene was, kind of slow, getting to where we got. But that whole opening, we learn about, and also spoilers, we learn about Dr. Savannah as a kid. And then we eventually get to, where Billy is now in a new foster home for the 23rd time. I don't know. I
think it's 23rd.
Yeah, he's run away from several different foster homes. I couldn't exactly keep count.
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole first act kind of felt a bit slow for me. But eventually would give a good payoff.
I thought it was I understand how you thought it was slow. I thought it started out a little slow as well, but I thought it kind of picked up once he started going to the school and all that.
Yeah, I felt the pacing picking up a bit there too as well. I enjoyed the characters a lot.
Oh, I think they did phenomenal.
Yeah, and the actors themselves.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any other negative stuff before we get into the positive things.
Oh, of course.
I guess, one of the powers of Shazam is the wisdom of Solomon.
Okay.
Because each of his, the acronym Shazam also spells out, the different powers he has.
Okay.
The wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, the powers of Zeus, the courage of the courage of Achilles, and the speed of Mercury. But yeah, there wasn't a lot of things that came off as him being really wise in that form. There was at one point near the end where he's talking when he's trying to goad out envy out of Dr. Savannah. I felt because he suddenly knew about all the each deadly sin of man.
So it could have been
enemy of man.
It could have been coming on subconsciously.
It could have.
Because he did have to figure out the powers throughout the movie. Because he didn't have that. Because I don't think
he didn't reach his full potential.
Yeah, because wouldn't the wisdom thing kind of tell him what powers he had as well? Do you think?
That's debatable. That's
yeah.
You could easily debate either side for that.
Well, yeah. Which was entertaining to watch.
Well, yeah. It was entertaining. But, I just kind of wish I would have seen a little more, of that wisdom. It was weird he clearly noticed, like, that every time one of the sins got out of Dr. Savannah, he got weaker, because he looked like he noticed it, but he didn't say anything, and then Freddy was the one who ended up pointed it, like, verbally pointed it out. Yeah. But it's like, I mean, that was one thing. And then I guess the last kind of negative, there were times during the film where I felt like when he would change from being Billy to Shazam, it just felt like it came kind of off as two different people. Yeah. At times.
I can see that.
Because it felt like when he was Shazam, he was a completely different person. Mm-hmm. Instead of, it's me, it's Billy. He's portraying like, hey, it's still Billy. Because, yeah, there are times where it's clearly, oh, yeah, this is definitely still Billy. This is definitely still Billy. But there were other times where it's like, it just felt like it wasn't, like, the things that he was doing as Shazam didn't feel like something Billy would do. Yeah. Or at least, like, from what we're introduced at Billy as a character wouldn't do.
Well, and I thought that maybe, like, him switching to his adult self, because of the fact that people say when you get older, you kind of have more, what's the word I want to look for? Like, you can think more clearly a little bit. Which I think might have happened because as a teenager, you're thinking about a ton of things.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's a lot of things going on as a teenager.
And when you're adult, you can kind of figure out which one you want to focus on more.
So is there anything other negative you want to point out that you felt at all?
I'm trying to think.
Oh, I guess the other thing would be, like, I felt like some of the characters weren't all that well developed. Like, we didn't get a lot of attention with one of his, like, the little boy and the other, like, teenager in there. I can't remember their names. I'm sorry. But, yeah, they just didn't leave a whole bunch of impressions for me. Darla was a good character.
Oh, gosh, I loved her.
Who was the one who was trying to get into college? Who was her name?
It was, like, Mary or something.
Mary, that's right. Mary, yeah.
Would anything else?
No, I think that's it as far as negative. So let's get to the good stuff. Crystal, why don't you start off with our good stuff?
One of the good things I kind of enjoyed was the humor throughout the movie, which going back, like when they were trying to figure out the superpowers, and they were it was just kind of entertaining. Like
that was definitely entertaining.
It brings it into real life. It's something you might do anyway. Try to figure out that way. Yeah. And the fact that they uploaded it on
YouTube. Yeah.
And then I did enjoy another part. I wasn't too familiar with this, but when Shazam shared his power with his family.
Oh yes, you did not know about the Captain Marvel family stuff.
Well, the only time I heard of something like that was, I think it was in one of the animated movies where Wonder Woman was what?
Was what?
Was fighting against Aquaman, and like Shazam came, and they were like 5 different kids.
In one of the animated films?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I don't really quite remember which one you're kind of talking about, but yeah.
But you kind of see where I'm coming from. Like,
You were kind of familiar.
Yes.
You had an idea.
I had somewhat an idea, and when,
like, maybe you could see that maybe something's going to happen to the kids later on. Okay.
Yeah, and then, when the flashback goes to the wizard saying, like, my brother and sisters were slain, it clicked.
Yeah, it clicked. Okay. Yeah, that part. Yeah, I really liked the fact that they actually chose to introduce the Captain Marvel family right away. I was wondering if they were going to do that. Because I thought maybe you could have waited till the next film. But I'm really glad that they actually introduced it in this one.
It was a nice ending to it. Like, I felt like they didn't have to figure out their powers. They figured them out a bit faster than Billy did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, probably from seeing it, maybe. I don't know.
But... Well, Darla didn't, and she already knew she could go super fast.
Well, no, she learned that like off the bat. Like, she already figured that. Well, more, like... well, there was something happening. Like, when Billy first got his powers, he didn't really... Like, when he first turned to Shazam, he really didn't try him out right away. But once he did, then he started figuring him out.
Yeah, and it seemed like each of them had something specific. Like, one of them was dealt with more along the lines of strength, and like Darla was always, running around.
Okay, so you're saying like some of them like were more utilizing a certain power more than the other. Yeah, I saw that too.
Other than that, I thought the fight scenes were pretty good.
I thought the fight scenes were pretty good.
I did enjoy having the 7 deadly sins kind of incorporated.
Yeah, because that was a good twist in there. Well, maybe not a twist.
Not a twist, but it
was a nice thing to have as a good introduction, like an origin villain type thing. And Dr. Savannah, I thought that was good. It didn't really feel like one was more like focused on than the other. Kind of a thing.
And I did like how Billy had to learn, because again, he's only a kid, and suddenly, oh, I have superpowers, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah,
but it's not all fun and games.
And the thing that I liked about it was like, it felt, because one of the things I was concerned about is like, how is Billy going to prove that once the sins were released, is like, how is Billy supposed to prove that he's supposed to be, worthy of the power? But then Shazam, the wizard Shazam, was like, you're like, I'm basically dying and I need somebody to be worthy. So basically Billy's like the last guy. He's like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to wait around for another guy who might be worthy. So I'm just gonna have to trust you, please.
That's what I was kind of like originally confused about, because he sent out this like I think it was a pulse, to find him, and so I was just like, okay, like how, I'm it's probably a plot hole. I have no idea, but like how did he know to find Billy?
Well, he didn't know how to find. Like those things were seeking out random ones. He might have gotten he's like, well, crap, the sins are out, and hopefully this, and then he finds out, oh, this is your this is gonna have to be the last one. Like, I don't know if he gets like a notification on his wizard phone or something. He's like, oh, good, there's one more chance of a worthy one. What's this kid's name? Billy Batson. Okay, he's coming in a subway. All right, I'll be ready for him. So yeah. Anyway, so the fact that Billy, is the last one, and it's like, well, hopefully he'll be pure of heart kind of thing, because he really couldn't be too picky, because he's like, because as soon as he gave him the powers, he's like, bye. Yeah. Kind of thing. So I liked that aspect. It was interesting. Okay, now what you were saying?
I apologize. What was the villain's name again?
Dr. Savannah.
Dr. Savannah. It's kind of interesting that he spent all this time searching and found like these different people that saw the wizard but were unworthy.
Well, because they were probably also tempted by the sins.
Yeah.
Hence why they're known as the enemy of man.
But the fact that he took so much time and effort to seek them out because he was so
because it was
obsessed.
He's obsessed because, again, it's like he said, when you tell a kid you're never going to be good enough, the kid is going to be like, I want to prove. I want to prove that. It's either, or it's the other way. It's like they get super depressive and they believe what they're told they'll never be good enough. So for him, it turned into an obsession because he knew that he could. Yeah. If he was given another chance. But he wasted it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to say, let's talk about Zachary Levi, the main, our Shazam. I thought he was phenomenal. I thought he was great in his performance. When he was on screen, I just enjoyed watching him. It was like,
I did too. It was really great.
And the kid who played Billy was also pretty good.
He did good, I thought.
And I also really like Freddie. I really like Freddie. He's a cool kid.
I thought he was good as kind of a way to help Billy grow. Because, he, with how he was, having the cane and stuff, if he had someone like that, he'd be able to not have to have help. Which eventually it did happen.
Yeah.
So, which begs the question, they all probably have to say Shazam.
Yeah, they would basically have to say Shazam. That's how it works. You just say the word, and they'll turn into that. Their Captain Marvel self, as I'm gonna say, because it's a lot easier just to refer to him as that. Yeah. For me, let's see. Okay, so the last point I want to kind of go on before we go to Twitter. is I want to say like the story itself.
Mm-hmm.
There was some I really enjoyed the story.
Mm-hmm.
I felt emotion in there. There were some dark moments in this movie.
Yes,
That shocked me. It was like, geez, I thought from what I was reading beforehand, it was like everybody's like, oh, there's a lot of humor in it, it's lighthearted, yada yada yada. It's like it's not, and then some people were complaining about it's not dark and all that. I wish it were more like the Zack Snyder stuff, which I enjoy the Zack Snyder stuff too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hitting on that because I enjoy it. I like Batman v Superman and I love Man of Steel. But it wasn't like people were saying it's not dark. I'm going to say, what movie were you watching? Because there were several dark parts in this movie. For me, anyway. I mean, is there more humor versus dark? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing I really liked about that, the emotional part for me was like when he found his mom. That was a real like heart wrencher for me.
Yeah.
Like I had tears in my eyes watching that scene. But the overall thing I liked about it though, and was the theme of family, and that's why I was so glad that they did go with the Marvel family coming. Because I kind of felt like that's where it was going for after Billy kind of realized that, finding what I wanted wasn't what I expected.
Yeah. It's better to have.
It's like it's not family isn't defined by who are your parents
or blood relatives
or blood. Like it's defined by the people who are around you that make you feel at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that message about this movie.
Oh yeah.
So let's head on over to
Twitter.
I really hope Dr. DC won't sue us for that or make complaints for that.
Sorry.
But we'll start because so everybody messaged me their thoughts on that. So we got several different ones. So first we got on Put On a Happy Face, messaged me and said, spoiler or no spoiler? I'm guessing no spoiler. It's 8 out of 10 for me. Loved Savannah. Yes, Dr. Savannah was pretty awesome. Loved Darla. Don't like it as much as others did, but pure gold. A really good film.
Hey.
Yeah, I really did like Darla. She was kind of cute. She said her line delivery kind of felt like something that didn't feel like a kid would say, but then again, every kid's different. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and I can kind of agree because she
just seems smarter than...
Yeah, she seems smarter than than what she should, and the fact is that she seems like she's always wanted like another
family member.
Another family member, like a big brother.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
like I mean, she's got another family, but who are we to say like kids that age can't be that smart or kids can't be that affectionate kind of thing, because every kid's like, that's the beauty of you.
It's different.
Everybody's different, so who's to say that it would come up as ingenuine?
Yeah.
I felt like her performance, it felt genuine.
Yeah.
But there were times where it felt like it kind of felt cheesy, I guess is the word I want to go with. But that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, look at how many Marvel films. There's probably plenty of points people could point out as cheesy. But I digress. Now we're going to go on to a really long point from somebody I really enjoy getting opinions from. Gabriel Goddard. Or Gabrielle Goddard.
Okay.
I really enjoyed Shazam. Didn't love it as I loved Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, BVS, or Aquaman, but really enjoyed it. It's a typical popcorn film, but in an old school style. So it was different from the current landscape of popcorn movies. There were hilarious moments, but sometimes I thought they were overdoing it. But overall, it's a very good film. Very well made, very well directed, very well written, amazing cast, amazing performances. It's not easy to find good child actors. Most of the time, child actors suck. But the entire Shazam cast is amazing. And another amazing DC villain. Shazam's theme song is great, but I was expecting more of an overall score. I personally didn't like how the cameo was made, but I liked the setup for the sequel. Yeah, I there was a lot of points I agree on there. The child acting actually is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
if you really think about it. I honestly wasn't overall impressed with the score. It felt like there was nothing really memorable. Like, if I were to compare it to Aquaman, the score is just not as good. Like, Aquaman's score was way more memorable for me.
I know I was more focused on the movie and I hardly heard
Yeah, I think that was what really happened, was I was so focused on what was happening with the story. I really wasn't focusing on the theme of the music, the musical score. But I think overall the musical score was just, it was okay. I want to say it's okay, because if I go back and watch it again and try to focus more on the score, maybe I'll like pick up on it more. But there was nothing that really automatically stood out for me. Yeah. So, as far as some of the other things she said, I agree on a lot of those points. It's well written. I wasn't like bored. I couldn't check my watch because I didn't have my Fitbit on, but I digress. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I thought
the movie definitely had my attention the whole time. Like sometimes I'd be over it, I'd be like, that was cool, like or just like, did you see that?
I really love how they did the transformation sequences. So it was like flawlessly made.
Definitely.
Like instantaneous, and I was like, yes, you nailed that, because that's how it should be.
Yes.
So
they definitely did nail that.
Would you like to read this one?
Sure.
This is from Adrian
Durana. I am no film expert or something, but I love Shazam. Although I feel there was something a bit lacking, still it gave me that really good childhood nostalgia. It had a lot of emotions for me. I haven't really genuinely felt this certain enjoyment in a movie since the Harry Potter ones. I can agree about the childhood nostalgia.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, it's basic wish fulfillment. You wish you had superpowers, and then you do those things with those superpowers. Yeah. And I loved that aspect of it. Now I need to go over to some other my messages. Let's go with our buddy Christian. You go ahead and read it.
Okay. So he said Shazam was true to what makes the DCEU stand out from other comic book movies. Unique, dark, scary, full of humor, and family-oriented, all rolled into one enjoyable story. The trailers truly didn't give away the full scope of the movie, and I thoroughly appreciate that. Would absolutely recommend anyone over 13 see this movie. Kids in the theater seemed a bit too afraid during certain parts, but you have to expect the unexpected from a director with a horror movie background.
Yeah, I would definitely agree, because there was like some of the designs with the sins, which I really liked.
Oh, that was very good.
Yeah, they were scary. I mean, like I could see like our nephews, they could not handle that. No, they would be coming crawling up on us or on their dad and saying, I'm scared, because
there was a lot of detail. I noticed one of the sins, gluttony, like
his stomach, he opened his stomach, and there was
his stomach and his mouth was like, I think it was connected or something, and it opened, and I was like, oh
my gosh.
It was beautiful. It was great how, it was able to do that. Yeah. Capture so much of what the sins are.
Yeah, like the sins are, basically evil and disturbing. And I loved that. That was awesome design. And the CGI was actually pretty darn good.
It was. Like, you could see some stuff like here and there, but overall, I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah, I thought they looked pretty well on screen. So thank you, Christian, for that.
Thank you.
Jade Russo says, went with my friends to see Shazam last night. I enjoyed it. Darla and Eugene are unbelievably adorable, and seeing all the foster kids transform into heroes was a very cool moment. Mm-hmm. The end credits scene with the Dr. Bad Guy was super confusing, so please explain what it all means in your video. Thank you, Afterbury Credits team. Have a good day. Well, thank you, Jade.
Thank you.
I actually had to do a little bit of research, because there was part of it that I wasn't too sure about. It was kind of confusing.
I did remember the little worm.
The caterpillar.
The caterpillar was in the lair in the first part of the movie, and then when Shazam goes back to it, you can see that the glass was broken.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I think the director made that choice so that it would make sense later on.
I actually thought the caterpillar like passed away because, but and then when I saw it, I'm just like,
yeah.
And then with the doctor like trying, I don't know if he was trying to get back in the layer by scribbling all.
Or maybe he was just trying to remember all the symbols that he remembered seeing. He was trying to, write them down in case he would forget.
Where he got the
or maybe he even saw more, like, as they were in there. Maybe there was more symbols going through his head.
It could be. I was wondering how he kind of got, like, that black...
Oh, the black...
I don't know. Chalk or charcoal or something.
Yeah, I have no idea how he got that, but...
It was very interesting. I wasn't really confused about it.
Really confused?
I wasn't...
Well, I mean, were you confused on, like, who the worm is?
Well, the fact that he was talking, I was just like, okay, this is a smart worm.
It's a very smart worm, yes.
It's a smart worm.
So this worm is, so after doing a little bit of research, this worm is known as Mr. Mind, and he, in the comics, is one of Shazam / Captain Marvel's, and part of his rogues gallery, one of his, I believe, fiercest enemies. But basically... I think that's how it was worded when I found the stuff. Mm-hmm. But basically, he's a very super intelligent worm who wishes to take over the Earth and wants... and also
uses henchmen.
Well, yes, he uses henchmen because he, as a worm, he's not very powerful. The most impressive thing he can do is encase a human in a cocoon within seconds. With really strong silk. But he also can control people's minds.
Okay.
So, at least that's what the research I found out. He's a leader of what's called, I believe, the Monster Society of Evil. So, it's basically setting up for future sequels and stuff. But yeah, hopefully I was able to answer that. Again, I'm not that familiar with Captain Marvel / Shazam stuff. But, yeah. So hopefully that answered your question, Jade, enough to increase for future movie watching with this stuff. And last but not least, we have Arthur Curry, the Aquaman himself. He says, Shazam was cool. I enjoyed the surprise that it was more than an unfunny joke-filled snooze fest like Thor Ragnarok was. However, I think seeing it once at the theater was good enough for me. We'll definitely get the digital when available and let anyone know I give it 2 thumbs up to check it out. Yeah. I will firstly address I'm going to respectfully disagree with the Thor Ragnarok thing, but again, everybody has different tastes. And focus on the stuff that you said. I would agree with you, actually. I feel like this is a movie like, I don't need to see it again in a theater. I'm one and done. I think I'm good.
I completely agree.
I can wait till it comes out on DVD to get it. But yeah. No. And that's basically it.
I've already recommended the movie to some of my family members.
Yeah, I would recommend it. All right, so now let's do our final, our favorite part. And then our final verdict and sign off. So, favorite part?
I would say it had to be when Shazam gave his power to his foster siblings, and then they all were just like one big family, just kind of like helping out, like spreading the sins apart and like fighting them individually instead of Shazam all dealing it himself.
You and I have the same favorite moment. Yay! Yeah, so yeah, that was my favorite moment because it really does tie the theme very well of the film. You're like, family is stronger together than try to go on your own, because that's Billy felt like he can't, like, family weakens you, but he learns that family doesn't.
And it was funny kind of watching them do their battles too, because and I'm terrible.
And I really like how diverse they made it, because in the comics, it was the whole Captain Marvel family was just complete white people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I like that they had a little more diversity in there.
Which was good. And then the one, I'm terrible with names. The one that hung out with Billy.
Freddie?
Freddie. It was kind of interesting that Freddie was able to be able to run around without his.
Yeah, like that was the nice thing about it.
and he was like flying around.
Yeah, he got to have wish fulfillment too, and that's always nice to see.
I like how Mary was able to be a part of it too, even though she's like the eldest.
Yeah, the eldest. Yeah, she honestly didn't look too much different from her when she transformed.
She didn't.
Other than a costume change, it felt like. I mean, I'm sure there was a bit of a change, but like I don't know why, but it felt like there wasn't too much.
I agree. There wasn't too much, but I like that they still had like their personalities.
Oh yeah,
which is really cool.
That's what I love about the Shazam character itself is the fact that he can turn into this awesome, powerful hero, but it's still the same like person underneath as a kid.
Yeah.
So I loved that aspect
really
of the character.
good.
That's what got me interested in learning about the character and then actually going to see the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's time for final verdicts. Crystal, what would you give this movie? Out of 5 berries.
Out of 5 berries. 4.5.
4.5?
Yeah.
This one is hard for me.
Yeah.
I feel most comfortable giving it a 4.
Okay.
Because, I mean, there was some still, like, there was, like the parts I was talking about earlier, like some of the negative stuff.
That's why I kind of gave it that 4.5, because I still did fully enjoy it, but there's, like, those little things.
Mm-hmm,
that's why it's not necessarily...
That added up for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was just some parts, like, for me that were not as enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was, just sitting back and relaxed. I wasn't, getting that. And I think the score might have had to do something with that. There was no, like, music that kind of got me into it, like with some other films. The musical choices, I guess.
The humor kind of what caught me in, and then just kind of like seeing it through.
Mm. Yeah, no, I love the humor. And then that was the other thing. Some of the humor doesn't always work for me. It didn't, like, not all the jokes hit for me.
Oh, yeah. Like, I got a chuckle at a few of them, but not like, complete, like, oh, that was terrible.
Yeah. It, like, didn't take you out of the moment kind of thing. But yeah, no, I feel most comfortable giving it a 4.
So it'd be 8.5.
Yeah, 8.5 berries for Shazam.
8.5 berries out of 10.
Yep. So, with that being said, please feel free to rate the video, leave a comment, tell us what you thought about Shazam if you've seen it. We recommend that you at least go see it once in the theater. Be sure to follow us on Facebook or on Twitter. And as far as future reviews, I believe we're going to wait for Avengers Endgame. We're going to wait because I want to review that with Sam. Because we've been waiting for this kind of thing. This whole arc of the last 22 movies of Marvel, of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So we're going to wait till Sam and I can both see it at the same time to review it. Please keep an eye out. There will be future Godzilla movie reviews. And with that being said... This has been Razz My Berry Reviews. Bye.
Bye.